As per the latest that we have at this point, General Bipin Rawat's mortal remains will be brought to the national capital tomorrow. The Indian Army has also tweeted out, I'm going to quote from that statement, General M.M. Naravane and all ranks of the Indian Army pay their heartfelt condolences on the untimely demise of General Bipin Rawat, Madhulika Rawat and 11 other passengers on board that chopper. An absolutely unfortunate air crash that took place in Kannur earlier this morning. We have been tracking and piecing together for you the information that's been trickling in. With us on the broadcast is a Major General retired Sheru Thapliyal. Thanks very much, sir, for being here with us. Your initial reaction to this absolutely tragic news coming in?
I am shattered at this tragic event that is taking place where General Rawat and his wife both died in this helicopter crash. And more so because I am a Garhwali and so is he. So was he. You know, first time I met him was in 1991 when I was posted in the Military Operations Directorate as a colonel, and he came there as a young major in the Military Operations Directorate. And one could see that, you know, he was different from the others. Very sincere, very hardworking, very perceptive. And then, of course, we've been meeting off and on. And both General and Mrs. Rawat extremely, I would say, kind-hearted. And his contribution to the armed forces and to the nation can never be forgotten.
Absolutely, sir. When we talk about the legacy that General Bipin Rawat left behind, any particular interaction, memorable moment that you look back at when you think of the interactions that you've had with him, the time that you've spent with him?
Well, as I mentioned, we used to keep meeting off and on because in Delhi we have this Garhwali get-together once in a while, where all Garhwalis meet and have lunch together or dinner together, whatever. And
so you also mentioned that when you met him, you could tell that he was different. If you would like to elaborate on that, sir. And you've also been a senior, someone who has seen him rise up the ranks and also I've also overseen his contribution to the Indian forces.
Yes, tremendous contribution to the Indian Armed Forces. And incidentally, his father, Lieutenant General L.S. Rawat, you know, we have in Delhi Garhwali's NGO called Hitkar Himalaya. So we select eminent Garhwalis to become the president of that organization. And we had selected a few years ago Lieutenant General Rawat as the president of that organization. And that time, I think Brigadier General Rawat was a brigade commander or a GOC. But his imprint on the armed forces, on the ideas that he propagated, and this concept of joint services actions, which he has always propagated, I'm sure his successor will also continue with this.
Right. So let's also talk about the significance of the post that he held, the first CDS, the tremendous challenges encountered while weaving together the functioning and the integration of the forces.
Yes, as the first CDS, he had to lay down the foundation of joint services operations and the operational doctrine of, because that was something new for the Indian Armed Forces. Indian Armed Forces, all services fought their war, although it was a jointness that way, but he is now or was laying down the doctrine, and he was a great supporter of the concept of theatre commands, in which the Army, Navy, Air Force will be together, and the commanding officer of that theatre command will be selected from Army, Navy or Air Force, depending on the requirement of that particular theatre.
Right, that's just a sample of the immense contribution of General Bipin Rawat to the Indian forces, and as the CDS, the first Chief of Defence Staff of the country. If you're just joining us, an absolutely unfortunate piece of news that has trickled in. The Indian CDS, General Bipin Rawat, his wife and 11 others have passed away in that tragic chopper crash that took place earlier in the morning in the southern Indian state of Tamil Nadu.